I'm Chick with Chick's Customs in Cleveland, Georgia. I build four-wheel drives. We're working on my personal Bronco today. We're putting the Baxter Performance adapter today on my Ford Bronco with this 2.7 liter twin turbo. I hope you enjoy the install. We got the hood open. Next thing we're going to do is start disconnecting stuff to gain better access for the Baxter install. So what we need to do is start taking stuff apart.
Making room.
8mm, start taking three 8mm bolts. I think that's all of them. A 7mm here. And we have some clips we got to undo. Out of the way.
Is that spring loaded?
Down pipe.
Yeah, there's a spring on it.
To the turbo.
So tell me about this. You don't really have to do this, it's just giving us a little more room to work with.
Yep.
Yeah, to make it easier for, you know, you
More
see what's
access.
going on.
These new modern day computerized motors, they start up so quick that gravity will pull oil down from places it needs to be on startup. And these things, they almost the second you hit the button to start it or the key to start it, ever how your vehicle starts, motorcycles, whatever, these later models, they will start up instantly. And a lot of times the oil is drained down in places that needs lubricating. Well, when they start up, you'll hear it rattle. Not for long, but just that little bit wears on a motor. So this installation will keep that from happening.
Prevent dry starts.
And it just doesn't dry start. So a lot of people don't realize it, and they don't pay any attention to it. But it's not good for the motor. It takes life away from it where it shouldn't be, because it does not have the right lubrication. And the modern day motors are so, the tolerances is so close. It doesn't take much for it to lose a little bit of oil, and it will rattle. And that is just wearing the parts that it shouldn't be wearing because they should be lubricated. So what Baxter does, it keeps the oil up where it needs to be for the cold startup. And it's a system that really works.
That's what we'll be replacing
Yep.
right there. So
We take 1 1/16". Take the old filter out. And you will be replacing the old canister style filter with a new screw-on style filter. It should be fairly dry in there. That's showing you that there's no oil staying at the top of the motor. Just set this aside. We won't be using this again. And first we dry fit the new Baxter, so we got it clocked so we know where to clock it. So don't put the O-rings on yet. Set that where your filter was. Okay, that's where it's going to clock. Now we know where our Schrader valve is going to point to. Our Schrader valve will be right here, sticking out here. So I'm going to take a Sharpie, mark that one. So since it is black, we'll use a silver Sharpie and mark the port that we're going to use for the Schrader valve. And we'll take it back out. The kit comes with plugs and a Schrader valve. Okay, take that back out. Here's what we have now. The kit comes with all the necessary hardware, the O-rings for it, And then there should be a smaller one in there for the base. Here's our plugs to plug off the holes that we're not using. This will be our 90 with our Schrader valve, which we'll put in. So for now, T-handle. Here's the ones we're going to plug off. They are tight. This is this piece here. It's a check valve, which keeps your oil in the top of the motor. Spring loaded. When you start the motor, it pulls down and lets oil flow through it.
Real simple, but it works.
You'll see you can push this piece in, which is the piece I'm pushing here to open the valve.
And the difference is that you didn't have a check valve either way on your filter before, so it was going back. Is that right?
Correct. We just had a cartridge filter in it.
Cartridge filters, they quit using those back in what, the 40s? Then they bring them back. That's funny.
We're going to put our O-rings on, then set this back in, tighten it up to 40 foot-pounds, and then we'll put our Schrader valve back in.
Okay.
These are the O-rings that it comes with. Pretty simple. They just slide over, go in these grooves. You got 2 grooves for each one, or 1 for each one. That one's in.
2 on the top there.
Another one in. My hands are greasy, so that's enough oil on them, or just take some oil and rub on them. We got 1 more for the bottom. There. Now we're ready to install it back. It's going to be tighter now because of the O-rings. Okay, now we get our torque wrench, torque to 40 foot-pounds. Now we can install our Schrader valve. Now we should be able to install the 90. Go a little past vertical. I think everything will clear then. Double check here and lay this back. Basically where it goes. Yeah. We shouldn't have a problem. Install our Schrader valve. There. There is our install of our Baxter. You will need to change the oil filter and go to a regular screw-on filter, which is what I'm using is a Motorcraft 500S. That's what Ford recommends for their other motors, and it will screw right on. Now this is going to replace this. This is a canister, old school canister style, and this is just your regular conventional screw-on tile filter. The check valve is actually in the new Baxter. Before you crank it, just hold the brake to the floor, hold the gas to the floor, push your start button. It will spin over but will not start. It kills the spark, and then once it builds up pressure, 4 or 5 revolutions, take your foot off the gas and it'll start right up and you're ready to go. Foot on the brake, gas to the floor, hit your button, foot off the gas, you're ready to go. Yeah, that one is made for it.
Yeah, God knows when you're in there.
Yeah, most vehicles, when you shut your engine off, most of the oil drains back into your oil pan within 18 minutes. This maintains oil in the top end of your motor to prevent dry starts. So it'll increase the longevity of your engine life. Today's motors have such tight tolerances nowadays that they're not like the old conventional motors when you had carburetors and everything. Now it's fuel injected. Most of your oil filters are on top of the motor now, and they drain down, like I said, within 18 minutes after shutting the engine off. If you start your truck or your vehicle 5-6 times a day or more, I said each time, you know, it's basically, there's no oil until the motor turns over and starts up. So it's basically a dry start. It puts wear on your bearings, everything in your motor. I would suggest the Baxter adapter on everything. And last but not least, the most important thing to me is it's made in the United States. It's not farmed out any other country. God bless America.